Tommy? And
You,
then you can jump in. Go ahead,
you.
sis. Finish your statement. Go ahead.
Just saying, I don't know what man would get on here and just start talking out of his mind like that. That shit sounds crazy. I know men your age. They don't even think about the shit you talk about. They don't have time for that. They doing things for the community, doing other shit. They're not talking like that. They're not referring to their own women as bees and other chicks as hoes for no apparent reason. They're not doing that. They're just not doing that, especially at that age. I don't know if you would like somebody talking to your daughter like that out the blue, out of nowhere. I don't know.
Now, just to be clear,
So he gonna jump in. So he gonna jump in and help this nigga out.
Just to be clear, I haven't even said anything. I haven't said anything yet.
I thought he would stop her from talking over you like he did me, but I'm wrong.
Exactly
I
my
haven't
point.
said anything yet.
I thought he'd stop her from talking over you like he did me.
You're literally
time out. Who?
You told me to hold on, let her finish.
Yeah, I said let her finish. What?
And I did.
I'm not. But what you talking about now though?
Then he started talking. She won't let him finish.
So sis paused, thinking that you were gonna jump back in, like I said, right? And then Angry Man jumped in, and then sis was saying that.
Hold on, sir. She didn't ask me.
What I'm telling you is, I thought you were gonna go back in. You understand? What I'm saying is, good brother. Listen to what I'm saying. I said, all I'm saying is, I thought you said, listen to what I'm saying. 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 I thought you were gonna go back in. Angry Man chimed in, and that's why she said, "Is Angry Man sticking up for you?" That's all that was. What I'm saying is, it was actually your turn to rebuttal. That was the discrepancy there. That's it. That's why I didn't say anything.
Okay, then let me rebuttal then.
Yeah, well, that's what sis was saying.
Rebuttal her saying I came up to insult when I didn't insult any of them because I didn't know them. Then she turned around right after saying it, saying, "You old as fuck." So in the black community, somebody gets to tell you old as fuck as an insult. Now, mind you, this woman who got the sour puss of the year, once hearing back old as fuck, said, first smile. And have y'all noticed that a lot of black women's first smile is when they're insulting you? When they see some brothers fighting, they will smile. And what they tried to do was encourage brothers to fight. And let me explain. First words out of their mouth was y'all dick riding. Because if you didn't go at me, I'm going to make sure you do. Then the second thing was Angry Man just jumped in and said, well, let me try to explain something. That's all he got out of his mouth. I know you ain't taking up for this nigga. Well, nobody would have said that if some woman had said that to her. If somebody had said, well, let me tell you what I think. Nobody would have said, I know you ain't taking up for this bitch. Then want to talk about men in the community, but can refer to a black man as a nigga. But then if somebody calls one a bitch, that's a problem. See, black men, what y'all need to understand is just like my man from the Steve Harvey show, Mr. Santana, Merlin Santana. You can end up dead very easily dealing with these women because they really will ask you to jump out the window and fight a cause that they're upset about. If you hear something I say that bothers you, you will go to the crowd and say, y'all ain't mad about this? Well, why do we have to be mad? Because you're mad. Somebody can call me Crispy and Blackie all day. You don't have to be mad because it bothered me. You don't have to be mad because they call me old as fuck. So what I should do now is elicit all the other people like Angry Man because we the same age. We old as fuck. And anybody else that's listening is old as fuck. But you got a ridiculous ass black bitch who's smiling and thinking it's fine to say dumb shit like that because her mom and daddy old as fuck too by that logic.
Who's and only ridiculous ass black bitch?
The age at which you got is a problem. As a matter of fact, I'm old as fuck, bitch, and I'm rich as fuck. So both of them should let you know something.
Okay. So he just nasty.
I'm out.
He nasty.
Yeah, I'm out too. Like I'm not dealing with this. This is stupid. This is nasty, and no, I'm good.
So she can call me a nigga, but I can't say bitch. I did not call out her name till she called me a nigga.
You did.
You don't call me out my name.
You referred to us as hoes. You don't recall?
No. You don't call me out my name.
Memory missing, isn't it? Your memory lacking? memory lacking. You see now. You called us.
Fair treatment, man. You don't call me out my name. Don't expect me to call back out yours. I don't respect y'all black hoes because you sit around trying to be mad at people that ain't bothered.
We ain't gonna be too many more black hoes. Like, what do you think we're gonna sit up here and lie, sit there and say bitches and hoes that's on this panel? I'm not trying to upset you. What I'm saying is, it won't be tolerated. I'm about to log off.
So, hold on, let me see. I just want to understand.
But they can't take it.
So, Tommy, question: what is your overall objective?
In what?
Like when you come up with the presentation, I think it is very charismatic and entertaining, right? But I think you also have a way of antagonizing what you know to be true. So, what is the objective, though? Is it just to be entertaining, or to convey a real message to people that want to listen?
I do both. When I came up here, we were talking about a subject, and I wanted to talk about that subject. I watched what everyone else said. Mm-hmm. I listened to what everyone said. I wanted to jump in on why it is that a lot of women are thinking that men aren't approaching them and why men actually aren't. Mm-hmm. And that's what my line was when I came in. My whole speech was that. You can go back and listen. Mm-hmm. That's all it was. Okay. Was talking about both sides and how it seemed. Now, someone gets upset at how you present your side, but I don't know them. And as I presented it, guess what I got? Questions about my whole personal life. Because you can't be with a woman or a black woman talking like you talk. But then they were wrong. But I didn't mind because I know what people do. If they don't like what you say, they personally attack you instead of attack what you said. Tell me what I said that was wrong, but they won't. It's the personal attack. You old as fuck. And I know men who help in the community, yet you got men on the computer right now at 12:12 at night, and they ain't helping the community. They sitting here talking about nothing on YouTube. Let's call it what it is. Ain't now Negro up here on the community. We on the line.
All right, Tommy. So do you have any solutions? Like you've already stated the issues. Do you have any solutions?
Give me a problem, I'll give you a solution. I promise. Give me one.
You already talked about all the problems with black women.
No, you tell me one, and let's go back. So the audience can understand. You give me one that you said
about. You talked a lot about the issue. I'm just asking, can you now have a discussion about bridging the gap, about solution? Yes. That's all I want. Please present that.
And that's why I asked you, hold my feet to the fire. Present me the problem. I'll present you the solution. That way the audience can follow it. Can't just tell me, do I have solutions? That's a cop-out.
We've been talking about the problem all night long. You said you were listening.
Tell me one of the... If you won't present me with one, then I can't present you with a solution. If you've been talking about it,
did you not present a problem while you were talking for the past? I'm asking. Didn't you not present a problem for the past 20 minutes?
If you're not going to present it, then I'm not going to present it.
I think it's credibility.
Hold on. Let me, because now that we on the solution, I want to
hold on.
Hold on, Mike. Don't. Just hold on, Mike. That's all. So, Tommy, do you think that a key parameter is the fact that one thing that you said that stuck out was like the women are just, for all intents and purposes, black women are mean. That's kind of one thing I gathered. Do you think that would be a catalyst? Like if they just changed their disposition, do you think that we would have much more success in our relationships?
Yeah, but it's funny. In my diatribe, which I will call it, I did offer a solution. I said, if people started listening and took the emotion out, I said, when people are talking, hear them, see where they're coming from and why they are saying it that way. And if you don't know, ask them. Instead of even characterizing what they say, why do you say that? Force them to explain why they say the things that they're saying. See, I'm a guy who has this thing called a psychology degree. And in the process, sometimes you do things to get a response, to elicit a response.
Yes.
And what I do is this. If people are trying to say that black women don't have an attitude, do you know what I did? Came up here to see if I can pull it out. Because if they didn't have one, then I'd be wrong. And then you look and say, see, he tried to trigger us and it didn't work.
Yeah.
He's the one making things up. Just like the first time I started working at IBM, they thought I was a dumb country nigga. And I understood that. I didn't have a degree in IT. I had a degree in psychology. But when I started talking, just like if I don't know how many of y'all saw this last Friday, I was on Fox News Network. You saw me on there with Jesse Waters, looking good. You stop laughing. I was on Fox and they was asking me questions and I'd be killing it. Or if you seen my movie, A Fatherless American, you say, oh my God. Or you see me with Russell Simmons or you see me with T.D. Jakes and you say, that ain't be the same man that just called them bitches hoes. Well, it's not. That was the environment. See, I was raised by a pastor, but I still cuss. And I cuss, and as soon as my mom walk in the door, I'll stop cussing.
So wait a minute, Tommy, you're saying the environment up on this panel is, because you say a lot, I'm just trying to really piece it together. You're saying, so the environment on this panel caused you to start to call black bitches and hoes and whatnot?
At what place did I say that?
Earlier, you actually addressed.
No, I said, what place did I say the environment on the panel made me say something?
No, you said the environment. No, you said the environment.
Listen, I said that I wanted to either show that the.
I heard that part. But you said it's also about the environment. So if you heard that part,
you understood when I said I came to list it. Either that would happen or it wouldn't. So it would either prove my point and everyone else's point, or it wouldn't.
You did say that, but you also said the environment, you're reacting to the environment, because if you're on Fox News versus if you're on T.D. Jakes, it's the environment that pulls something out of you, correct?
No. I know these people. I know my mom. So when my mom walks in, I know
what T.D. Jakes and Fox News. When you're on
T.D. Jakes, him personally. Didn't hear me. I know him. Just like when I went on Jesse Waters' show, I know the show. I know the format. Just like this, I know the show and I know the format. Anybody, just like my man Angry Man or Trigger Mike, they literally know. That's why the people sent money before I spoke, because they knew.
But we don't. But you said you know the show. You haven't even been on our panel.
No. So all right, let me answer. Let me answer really quick. If he was watching, even for 20, 30 minutes, if he saw when Angry Man came up, he knew what type of time it was, right? And so what he did was he tried to elicit a response to show the reason why we are so far apart in our relationships. And he used that tactic and it seemingly worked.
But here's the thing. This is what I was going to say earlier. And I'm not dick riding, number one. But what I was going to say earlier is that you guys didn't realize it, but the whole reason why I came up on the panel to give some support to either man and the rest of the guys is because y'all were being really disrespectful. You just don't think you were. You may not have been calling people out of their names and stuff, but you were stopping guys in the middle of their sentence. Like, do you have a point? Or are you going to say like it was disrespectful?
I was asking if there was a question, because typically if you come up here, you're trying to engage the female panel. And that's what I was asking. Is there a question? Because he did talk for quite a while. Well, I was really asking, is there a question you have for us?
Well, no, love. That's not the instance I was talking about. I'm not talking about the back and forth you just had with Tommy.
He's talking about me, love.
I'm talking about earlier when either man was given an explanation for something that was asked, y'all were cutting him off and telling him how to answer, how to speak, like you were frustrated with him talking. And I'm like, why are y'all doing that? That's the whole reason why I came up here hot the way I did, because here's the thing with the whole social dynamic between black men and black women, right? Y'all may not see it because it's a norm. It's a cultural norm. But black women talk to black men as if we're children, as if we're little boys. Like you have to constantly stop us mid-sentence, or if you don't agree with what we're saying, you try to shut us down instead of allowing us to express ourselves and say what's on our mind. And it's really annoying. Now, not every guy is going to react the way I would or the way Tommy would. Most black men are conditioned to accept that. And so they'll sit back and they'll adjust. They'll adjust to whatever it is you're trying to get them to do. You see what I'm saying? But guys like me or Tommy, we're not going to do that. We're gonna push back, and that's when the blow up happens. That's when the why are you talking to all of that stuff? You feel what I'm saying? And y'all don't realize when y'all are being disrespectful. You don't. But you're quick to call out men when you think they're disrespectful.
Is that a woman thing or is that a culture thing? Was that men to men, women to women? Is that a culture thing or just women?
It depends. It's a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing where you see it a lot in Black women, but now because of the fact you have so many boys raised by Black women, you see it in the men too. You see it in the men too. So it's become a cultural thing where you can't have, like, if you see two Black people out in public somewhere at the gas station or something, and they get into a disagreement, you got to wonder if somebody going to start shooting because they don't have the ability to speak to each other in a respectful manner or engage in, actually,
healthy debate.
What's it called? Not healthy debate. Is conflict resolution. You don't see that. You feel what I'm saying? Because
we don't know how to de-escalate. We don't know how to, like the brother right there, the DJ. It could have went left. He de-escalated the situation between me and him when I was talking about what Angry Man said. And we moved on past it. Nobody even had to acknowledge it. Think about that. He wasn't happy with what I said.
I watched the Weaker Vessel podcast, Angry Man, with you guys. There's a lot of older gentlemen up there. And you guys just did a horrible job, with communicating and letting each other speak. And some of y'all were crying, going back and forth with UT. It was just all men up there. So I just wanted to point that out. That
goes back to what I just.
Let me interject this really quick. But what Tommy was just talking about was the example that we want to perpetuate. So to go back to that, like, why not let Tommy finish that point? Because that could have got volatile, right? There was so many things that could be taken the wrong way. Like, remember when I dropped him down, he could have felt some type of way about that, et cetera, et cetera. But he know what we trying to understand intent. And I think that's why it can get to a place of here.
Well, as a man, I knew what you had to do what you had to do. Okay. As a man, I knew you had to do what you had to do. And as a man, I also respect it's your platform. Remember, it used to be a thing, and that's what Angry Man was trying to say. And this ain't me dick riding him. It's sometimes when men agree, and I think that's a problem in our community, that they don't allow men to agree. Black men, have y'all noticed when y'all agree, y'all dick riding? But when women agree, we never say they clit riding. We allow them to agree if they agree on logic. Men, if you agree, but you disagree with that woman, you're somehow a fag, sassy, or whatever word they want to use, but they're going to challenge your manhood because you're agreeing with a man that disagrees with them. Right? Angry Man said the reason why he argues with a lot of those men that you brought up was because a lot of those men were raised by Black women, and hence you get that. And what DJ Hamp was trying to say was, if y'all ask me specifically do you have any resolutions? Well, when a resolution was presented, you went back to where a resolution wasn't. You didn't say, well, that is true. We could all live in that space of where we may feel a little disrespected, but we could all take a step back and see how we got here, and let's see if we can move forward. I can tell you one of the friendliest faces I've seen since I've been here, and I don't know why. And I've seen her cringe when I say some things and shake her head when I say some things. The woman named Taesty. I don't know her, but I pay attention to faces.
It's Tay. Hamp did that to me.
How do you say it?
It's Tay. Hamp did that to me.
Tasty. That's the name. Hey, Tasty.
Yeah, but some of the shit I said she was.
Yeah, and sis, the show, The Weaker Vessel, yeah, there was a lot of disagreeing, there was a lot of arguing, there was a lot of back and forth, and I had a headache after that show. But that was a prime example of what I was just talking about, how it becomes a cultural thing. And I'm not saying I'm exempt from that. I was brought up in the culture too. So I have to fight against doing that, but it's hard to fight against doing that when you got other guys on the panel that are also engaging in that, when there's no voice of reason, to try to bring it back. Hamp did a pretty good job of bringing it back a few times, but even after that, a lot of the guys, we still were able to come to some sort of resolution and not be, just cursing each other out and shit.
Yeah, but let me add to that.
About it. While they saying you dick riding, wasn't it a point when me and you was at each other?
Oh, we was at each other, yeah.
As men. But have you noticed, and they look at something like this, you and I acted like nothing fucking happened after it was done, like it ran its course.
Yeah.
Oprah Winfrey was asked why her and Whoopi Goldberg don't get along. She didn't know and remember. She just knew they hadn't talked in 20 years.
Exactly. But that's the point, though. That's the point. That was what I was going to say. And I think when women, like this thing that we do where women will throw what men do back, this is what the equality narrative has done. Men, you'll realize we always come back to general consensus. On the congressional floor, they used to come to blows, arguing their points, but they'll come back the next day. You see what I'm saying? That is the nature of men. What we do when we talk to each other and we're jousting and we're our aggression is natural. It's how it comes out. It may even come out as physical aggression. That's not natural.
Mm-hmm. But that Trigger Mike, that's why on the Weaker Vessel show, and Hamp probably remember this, I said, I see what the problem is. We all need to be in person so we can just fight.
Yep.
Now, I didn't say that because I just want to be violent. I said that because sometimes that's what men got to do in order to finally respect each other. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what?
Jeff Brown was on one of y'all's show. Jeff Brown had told a story that I was going to kill myself over a white woman tried to embarrass me over a lie that he told on Corey Holcomb's show. He finally came onto that show and said, you know what? I just did that because I was cool with Corey and them. And I said that to try to make you look bad. It was done with me. And that shit happened 10 years ago. And for 10 years, he had people saying, Tommy tried to kill himself over a white woman. It was a complete lie. Just like how Chingy had his career ended because a dadgum transsexual went and said that him and her had a relationship. And it wasn't true. We do too much of that. But I'm one of those people, I don't hold grudges because I don't know these people. I tell people once I turn my camera off, my real life is here. I have 2 black daughters, and I love it when people say, you can't raise no black daughters. I got one going to college and one about to go to college. I got one I've never heard her say a cuss word. She still look at me like I'm crazy when I say a cuss word. Dad. I always make fun of her, how she talk. Everybody's heard my daughter. She sounds like she way older than she is. The oldest one, she sounds like she way older than what she is. How does she sound like that? Because she was raised by a father who told her, just because the world might say something racist, don't mean they're racist against you. You treat people how they treat you, not how a group tells you you're supposed to feel. So you don't make people that nobody can tell you that you dick riding somebody if they're right. And nobody can shame you into agreeing with something that's true. And we do too much trying to shame each other in the black community instead of correct each other, which is why you have a sexy red out there leading a generation. Which is why you have Blueface mom talking about she's doing her OnlyFans, and YMW Melly's mom saying she's doing the OnlyFans. And when you got a black woman, and again, me and Trigger Mike can understand this because we our family's from the motherland and we got trouble. We're not trying to act like we don't have trouble. We got our women over there doing the same thing y'all doing, where they putting anything on their head instead of their natural hair, where they doing all kinds of stuff. And it was one woman, she put a lace front on an infant because she wanted a cute hairstyle. And I sit and said to myself, and that was the argument I was having with that McClure lady. I told her, I said, why do you have on all these weaves and wigs, lady, but your mixed children don't? Why your mixed children have so much better than yours? It ain't because they better than mine. I just want to switch it up. I said, but you don't want your kids to switch it up? I said, see, it's that kind of stuff that y'all won't listen to. You want, and then I watched all the black women sit there and say that they forgive her boyfriend or her husband, even though he was saying the most racist stuff against black folks. But a black man is a coon if he say anything about you wearing a weave. There are problems throughout the Black community. And one of the 12 steps, the first of the 12 steps in alcoholism, is you have to acknowledge that you're an alcoholic. And the reason why we're having the problems that we're having in Black women leading STDs, kids out of wedlock, health, the death from heart-related diseases and obesity. One of the biggest ones, you're the most evicted in the United States. And yet you get online trying to call somebody else a coon or he hate himself because he point that out. You will never solve a problem if you don't acknowledge the problem exists. And the biggest reason why when you date white men, you don't carry this baggage that you carry to us, you don't carry that attitude, because a white man don't have to deal with it because you can't tell him he hate himself because he don't like your attitude. The only reason it works on Black men is because they were raised by single moms. Every Black man that's raised with a father doesn't listen to that crap of you hate yourself because you don't like my attitude, that you hate yourself because you won't allow me to put weave on my head and our infant child, to make our infant child hate themselves. Now, I know it sounds weird.
Okay. Jesus.
One. Who I got an echo? Can I hear that echo or no?
Yeah.
There you go. Check. One inquiry I had, I need to read these super chats. One inquiry I had is E was pretty cordial, right? E usually stays in that type of frame. And he was being, cut off, things of that nature. Like we want him to get to his point. And then Angry Man comes on, right? And he's angry, or right? I mean, I'm just using his name, right? Angry Man was angry, right? Just to sum it up. And then we also, and we don't like that, but then we also say Angry Man's attitude is more desirable. Yeah, we said we would take.
But it wasn't around. That wasn't around the context.
I said based on, I asked the question. Remember, I said, who would you take based on their attitudes?
You said, but
there's an action. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I was just doing this, but what I'm saying is there's also certain level of attraction there too. So it wasn't all just his bravado and all of that. He's attractive.
I know. Unfortunately, my question was based on their attitudes. Who would you pick? That was my question.
But all of it was encompassing in my mind, so we picked him. Period.
And I honestly thought you said excluding what happened earlier that night, like excluding the interaction that he and I had. I thought you said excluding that. If you were to see them two side by side,
based on their attitudes is what I said.
Right, but I thought you said it. I could have sworn. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought you said
I digress because now I asked a straight up question to go refer back to it, but now it's being spun around. So
we go back to attitude. I'd still pick him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, but you see, I'm now. It's like I didn't say that. I mean,
I'm broke, baby. I ain't got no money. Oh shit,
brother! You understand? You're still getting the same
motherfucker with money. Even Ray Charles can see you got money.
Super real quick. Drop Bino with the 50 ball.
Parties.
Tommy is the GOAT. He is the reason why I'm married.
Wow.
Tommy the GOAT. He is the reason why he said that shit twice. Rebel Rosen stood out. He just laughing. This at 11. This is at 12 o'clock. So that's when Tommy was on his diatribe. Rebel Rose said $2. He said, "Call me whatever." That shit was funny. That's when I think they were called dick riders. As Ava the $10 says, "You Black men are being laughed at by white men. Do you think 19 Keys would ever speak that way?" Who's that? Spoon Zaza with the $5 says, "They claim they look like this because they're tired, but they literally look like this all day." See, this Palace with the $2 says, "Tommy never went after the ladies on here first." That was at 12:12. Sway producing with $2 says, "The intellectual integrity has dropped." That's a quote from Lil Podcast. Double R Films with $2 says, "Tommy, please apologize to sis for the B word, sir."
As long as they have rap songs that say the B word and women call themselves a bad bitch and all this, I will not apologize for using a word that they use to themselves. Just like black folks, if we want people to stop calling us niggas, we might need to stop calling ourselves that first.
Caesar's Palace with the $2. Double R. So black women can just say anything disrespectful. World of Clout with the $2 says, oh my God, the RP Menace is here. Great show, Hamp, no doubt. Lauren Mack with the $5. Shout out to Hamp and AM for bringing the combo back on track. Discourse can always be a teachable moment. Hank with the $2 says, hold your head up, Eater Man. Dana was dead wrong. That was at 12:30. Double R Films with the $2 says, Caesar's Palace. That's besides the point, man. Shit. Reese Anderson with the $2 says, big up Sotomayor. Been a fan a long time.
Stop dick riding.
Lauren Mack with the $5 says, no need for contention if what is said don't apply. AD Truth with the $5 says, love and sis roll their eyes every time the men agreed. Dang, sad. Reese Anderson with the $2 says, Tommy, you from Panama. You ain't from the motherland.
Panamanian, well, let me explain to him. I try to let him know. The Panamanians, we're from Ghana. We just came there by way of Ghana. They dropped us off there. So I'm not one to hide from my roots. A lot of people don't do it. A lot of people don't acknowledge where their roots are. That's my roots. We're Ghanaian. We just speak Spanish. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Reese Anderson says Panamanians are Jamaican and Bayesian descent migrants.
Panamanians from everywhere, man. My wife is Panamanian.
Mm-hmm. Hell, I know a lot of people when they were like, they thought he's trying to be white, saying he's Panamanian. Most American blacks didn't even know that blacks were Panamanian. That there's so many Panamanians are black.
They black, dark ass people that speak Spanish. Like
Tatiana Ali, Panamanian.
She fine as shit too.
Tell a friend, and we out.